Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Pad, Shri Pad, Shri Pad, Srila Shri Pad, Jai Jai
Jaya Shri Pad, Shri Pad, Shri Pad, Shri Pad.
Jai Gurudev, 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 Srila Gurudev, Jai
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Shila Gurudev.
Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari 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 Bol. Bolo Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Nitai Gaurang Bhagavan, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Welcome everyone to this transcendental program of studying Bhagavad Dharma, called the Param Dharma, or the ultimate duty of humankind. Because only as a human being, one is endowed with the sufficient intelligence to inquire about the subject matter of one's highest self-interest. And you know, one thing very wonderful, the highest self-interest of all of us is common, and it is unlimited. Just this one perspective will change our approach together towards it, because we cannot isolate ourselves completely from the association of others, and especially from the association of the like-minded sadhakas or the practitioners. So, if our highest self-interest is common one and the same, of course, it has some apparent variegatedness, but in essence, it is the same, of the highest nature. Because there is no duality, so we cannot say one is one's highest self-interest is higher than anyone else's, or anyone else's highest self-interest, if accomplished, is any lower than anyone else's. So that way, there is no spirit of competition or trying to outsmart or outrun anyone. We are all on the path to attain, to achieve, to become gifted with the gold medal only. This concept will transcendentalize our approach not only individually but also collectively, because we are not going to be deprived if we continue our journey on this path is directed by the capable, like the director, or like in a voyage, captain, capable captain. So if one has absolute faith in the captain under whose leadership we are traversing this path to reach our ultimate highest, or reach our destination, which is that culminates into the attainment of our highest self-interest, or the highest perfection of our human potential. And that's why we can only become the source of inspiration, or because the rarest thing, the rare thing is to get on the board. If we have gotten on the board of this this voyage or this journey, then we can marvel our common fortune. Being on the journey, being on the voyage, which leads to the destination, which is the highest perfection of our human potential, how wonderful it would be. Everybody is, even in the material world, everybody imagines or hankers for such association where there is no conflict of interests. But inevitably, no matter how sweet and sound, attractive our connectivity or our bond with, starting with our parents and everyone, somehow or other, to continue together with the same interest or with the same goal, same destination, in the material world, in due course of time, that ideology or that ideal, it finds very hard to. But this spiritual journey we have embarked upon, we will always can sustain that vision of a common goal, and that goal is it has unlimited vacancies to be fulfilled. So we'll all have the gold medal awaiting for us. And if we see someone more eager for the gold medal, we should encourage, or that person can become the source of inspiration for us, so that we can also remain ever eager, enthusiastic to achieve that destination. And that ideal was established by our predecessor acharyas, especially for the very purpose of fulfilling the innermost desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svat Padantikam. So that is the contribution of Rupa Goswami, primarily all the Goswamis led by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by Rupa Goswami. The Rupa Sanatan, the glories of Rupa Sanatan, we discussed how much they were the very embodiments of divine couple's brilliant amorous love. The Swarup, the identity of Krishna, Sri Krishna, Radha Krishna, is amorous, mellow, Ujjwal Rasa. And the way Rup Sanatan Goswami and other Goswamis describe the glories of that conjugal mellow of the divine couple, and also the process and the means by following which conditioned souls like us can also become participants in that highest mellow, the highest position they describe. That's why they are called the embodiments of Radha Krishna's brilliant amorous love. Mhm. And although they were, as we discussed, although they were the eternal associates of Nikunja Mandir, they were all Manjaris, but they came as associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And for the benefit, because Mahaprabhu is described by Rupa Goswami as Namo Mahavadanyaya, most munificent. Why most munificent? All the incarnations of Godhead, they are all magnanimous. They are all come, they manifest with the purpose to cause the highest benefit to the humankind. Of course, amongst them, Krishna stands out compared to other manifestations of God, because Krishna, through his most loving and enchanting pastimes, he bestowed love the even to the trees and plants. Latasvapu premato bhavati. It is described in Laghu Bhagavatamit by Rupa Goswami himself. Santihi avatara bhava pushkar nabhashya sarvato bhadra. Definitely, all the manifestations of Krishna, they are all most auspicious. But still, in which manifestation other than Krishna, he bestowed love of God even to the trees and plants? Such enchanting passion. But even that distribution was limited to Braja, only Vrindavan realm of Vrindavan on the earth. Uh, it could not, no others outside Braj could not benefit from that distribution. But when Krishna comes as Mahaprabhu, he makes it available, not only available, also attainable. There's a difference between making it available, but if you don't show the process how to achieve it, then even if you make it available, nobody bothers, nobody cares. Mahaprabhu accomplished, or Mahaprabhu's that entitlement, Namo Mahavadanya, most munificent incarnation of Godhead, was made possible by the effort of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. They didn't need to perform such high class sadhana and expressing their craving for the ultimate achievement of fortune for the living entity. But in order to establish the ideal in front of us, they acted as like sadhakas, as if they are hankering or they are bereft of something. They have got everything. But for us, how to hanker for something we are definitely bereft of, we are still deprived. So they demonstrated the process and the ways whereby we can benefit. We simply have to just, whatever expressions they have made, being fully situated in that Manjari Bhava, in the sentiments as a Manjari, and even in their practice, it's just like making a demo, you know. They are just making a demonstration, but because they are perfect at being, so even in their demonstration, they are showing as if the vigor and the passion and the tremendous pull, obsession they are feeling. They are already attained that status quo. But for us, just to benefit us, just to attract, how blissful and how wonderful it is even to hanker for such things. And the possible blessing of attaining the vision of the divine, how to attract the ultimate mercy of the divine couple, especially the mercy of Srimati Radharani. They have demonstrated very wonderfully. It is as if like the wish fulfilling tree was manifest in their form. Definitely. And this wish fulfilling tree is very unique. It's a more useful or it is than the wish fulfilling tree found in the heavens or in the spiritual world. Of course, we have yet to make to the spiritual world, correct? But the wish yielding tree which is available in the heavens, it does not have the capacity to give us love of God on its own. It will give only what one desires. But conditioned soul does not know that he has to desire love of God over everything else. The symptom of a conditioned soul that he can or he will desire anything but the love of God. That's why this manifestation of Rupa Sanatana Goswami and other Goswamis, they have made an arrangement. They have exposed this process of pure devotional service in such a way that any connection with it will make one hanker only for love of God. So that's why this wish fulfilling, wish yielding tree is very unique, you know. And they broadcast this message to the whole world. It it bestows only love of Godhead. So they are considered greatest, you know. So if someone out of ignorance asks something from a wish fulfilling tree, which is not good for him, it will give. So that's why what one should desire if one is not educated, then he cannot benefit even from the wish yielding tree to full potential. One should become educated as to what to desire, how to desire. One should know what is the highest perfection of one's human potential. So, in the education, in the books which they have written, they have exposed this thing for the living entities. Hey, what to desire even? What is the best thing to desire? And um, that's why it is very, very essential. One becomes aware of the contribution of Rup Sanatana Goswami, and Narottam Das Thakur has very wonderfully established the superior nature of the wish yielding tree or the Kalpataru, Prema Kalpataru. Other wish yielding trees are only Kalpataru, but this is Rup Sanatana's manifestation there. They are the Prema Kalpataru, bestow only love, the highest thing, the highest benediction for the humankind. So, how they and how they accomplish this. So, this is described in today's Sloka, where the actual glories, how they bestowed the highest benediction of Mahaprabhu upon the living entities like us. So, benediction of Mahaprabhu became distributed, brought to the people's notice at large by their leadership. Prema Bhakti Riti Jato Nije Granthe Suvekat লিখিয়াছেন দুই মহাশয়া, লিখিয়াছেন দুই মহাশয়, যাহার শ্রবণ হইতে প্রেমানন্দে ভাসে চিত্তে, যুগল মধুর রসাশ্রয়, Jugala madhura rasashraya. Likhiyachen Dui Mahaj. These two great stalwarts, these two saints, have revealed all the ways of loving devotion, Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, by writing them down in their books. By hearing these topics, the heart floats in ecstatic love and takes shelter, the heart for the person. Person takes shelter of the Madhura Rasa, amorous mellow of the divine couple. Once again, this was the effect. This is the effect which Narottam Das Thakur is expressing, showing or revealing. This is the effect. These two great saints, Mahashaya. This word Mahashaya is very, very wonderful. The ultimate definition of Mahashaya, ultimate definition of Mahashaya becomes demonstrated in the behavior of Rupa Sanatana Goswami. Of course, those stalwarts, including Narottam Das Thakur, following in their footsteps and furthering their work only, the fulfilling the desire of Mahaprabhu, or to be able to distribute the gifts of Mahaprabhu of highest nature of love of Godhead in Radha Dashyam, to be brought, to be distributed widely amongst all people. And because Rup Sanatan pioneered this, why Narottam Das Thakur is saying that they are the one who revealed Sri Chaitanya Manobhishta. The inner desire of Mahaprabhu was revealed by these two great stalwarts. They revealed all the ways of loving devotion. Swabhakti Shriyam, the great treasure of devotion to him. And Mahaprabhu is Radha Krishna combined, right? So ultimately, the sentiments or disposition of Radharani is prominent. That's why Krishna aspect of Mahaprabhu is covered by the Radharani aspect. Radharani is so prominent in Mahaprabhu, and that's why connecting to Mahaprabhu means connecting to Srimati Radharani. Of course, Radha Krishna, Ek Atma Dui Deha Dhari, they are not two, but they have manifested two forms, like a couple. But now, when they combine, then Radharani's role becomes prominent. In Mahaprabhu, whose role is prominent? Mahaprabhu, Radharani's role. And that's why we are very prominently connected to Radharani. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says, Yatha yatha gaur padar vinde vindeta bhaktim krita punya rashi तथा तथोत्सर्पतिरीड्यकस्मात् Sri Radha Padambhoj Sudhamburashi, because Rupa Sanatana Goswami brought the message, the highest gift is desired by Mahaprabhu to be bestowed upon the humankind. So as one becomes more and more devoted and attracted to Mahaprabhu, as one becomes more evolved in expressing one's devotional sentiments towards Mahaprabhu, then what happens? To that extent, this practice of devotion to the lotus of feet of Mahaprabhu, it suddenly invokes the intense desire. Tatha tathot sarpati hridhi, hridhi means in the heart. Akasmat hatat, suddenly, Sri Radha Padam Bhoj Sudham Gurasi. It manifests or invokes strong desire to relish the nectarine, most sweetly flavored service of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. The shloka is so amazing. one has to contemplate and just maneuver the depth. That what is that suddenly invoking in the heart? Such a such attraction to experience the nectarian, most sweetly flavored of the service of Radharani's lotus feet. So this is how one becomes connected to Radharani. The way to become connected. Radharani is so rare. Radharani is so removed from us. To access to Radharani through our own endeavor is impossible. It's dangerous rather, because how can you not follow the process and the ways? Everybody, like God also has the ways for us to follow, how to approach Him. So the only way, or the shortest and the surest way to absolute success, to attain the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, is to go through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that connectivity to Mahaprabhu has been established by Rupa Sanatana Goswami. That's why he's particularly in this sloka he's describing that they have revealed all the ways of loving devotion by writing them down in their books. By hearing these, Jahara Shravana Haite Premananda Bhase Chitte. By hearing these topics, our heart floats in ecstatic love. Doesn't it? Of course it does. And take shelter. So we take shelter of the Madhur Rasa, Ujjvala Rasa, amorous mellow of the divine couple. Such a wonderful. So how Nautam Das Thakur is addressing Sri Rup Sanatan Goswami as the Mahashay. Correct? Mahashay. What is the meaning of Mahashay? Because of the contribution through their books. The contribution is so sublime. The contribution is so amazing. Nautam Das Thakur calls Rup Sanatan Goswami as Mahashay. And of course, Nautam Das Thakur himself is also celebrated as Mahashay, correct? So pure love. So the books of Sri Rup Sanatan Goswami that are filled with, they are the syllables of pure love, you can say. The very words, very expression is only pure love only. Revealing their great gift, he sings Prema Bhakti Riti Jato, the first line. Nije Granthe Subekata Likhiyache Dui Mahashay. Those two saints have revealed all the ways of loving devotion by writing them down in their books. Sri Rup and Sanatan Goswamis are both Mahashay, which means they are generous and high, very generous, means magnanimous and broad-minded. Maha. Maha means great. Ashay means the aspiration or the desire in the heart. What is the desire they have kept in the heart, which they want to fulfill? They want to fulfill the desire of Mahaprabhu. So their heart's desire is to fulfill the desire of Mahaprabhu, correct? And that's why, because Mahaprabhu is called Mahavadanyaya, most magnanimous, because he has brought this gift of highest fortune of Manjari power, Radha Dashyam to the humankind. In the same thing, these two great stalwarts, they are carrying in their heart. That is, their heart's aspiration is also the same as Mahaprabhu's. So they are Maha Ashay. Ashay means the heart's innermost desire. And because that innermost desire is very great, the ultimate, highest, same is Mahaprabhu's desire. So that's why this Mahaprabhu is called Mahaprabhu. So this Maha also is added to their title, entitlement. They are called Mahashaya. Anybody who carries the desire of Mahaprabhu becomes Mahashaya. Anybody. Krishna has a desire. So anybody who nurtures to fulfill the desire of Krishna, they also become Mahashaya, correct? So what desire one should carry? If we are able to carry the desire, carrying the desire means making sure that it becomes fulfilled. So in order to get it fulfilled, one has to carry it in the heart. One has to increase the intense mood. One has to become so focused and absorbed to fulfill that desire. So Sri Sanatana Goswami, because they carry the desire to fulfill the desire of Mahaprabhu. They are Mahashaya. They are this way. They are broad-minded. They are very generous and broad-minded. So broad-minded people, they think of ideas. No? They're just saying. Great people think of ideas for the benefit of others. Average people talk about things. Okay, let's take care of our things, our chores. Ordinary people or small people talk about other people. So what category one falls? Of course, a sadhaka and connected to this lineage of Mahaprabhu, we must find our attraction to become Mahashaya. It would be a good aspiration. We cannot even remain, we cannot afford to remain even ordinary. What to speak about becoming small people? We must stick to the standard of following in the footsteps of Mahashaya, so that eventually we also become blessed to assist these Mahashayas, for the benefit of others. So we don't remain small-minded or narrow-minded just to oneself. Our purpose, this human life is meant to bring or give benefit to others. Animals live just for their selfish, limited, timid interests. Human being, a true human being is one who is concerned for the happiness and joy of others. This is what differentiates between animal and human being. Human being, unless one has the concern for other beings' happiness also, atmavat manyate jagat. As much as I wish happiness and whatever for myself, I should also uh, demonstrate that towards others. That's the minimum standard to be a human being. And among human beings, one who carries or one who wishes the highest benefit to the other beings. That's why Mahaprabhu gave two instructions. Bharata bhumite hoile manushya janma jar janma sarte kari. First is to perfect one's life by imbibing this message of Mahaprabhu and Rup Sanatan of Radha Dashyam, and then whosoever comes in our life, janma sarte kari kar parupkar. Parupkar means for the benefit of others. That's why, because they are carrying such a, their heart is, their mind is so magnanimous. So they themselves, even in the process, they are totally absorbed in relishing the mellow of the conjugal mellow, meditating in their service or meditating how to bring joy to the divine couple. They're totally absorbed. They don't have to come out, but simultaneously, although they were endowed, achieved everything, still they sacrificed so much. They went out of their ways. That's the meaning. Although they are always immersed in the relishing of transcendental mellows, they're still very compassionate towards the conditioned souls and have, out of their great generosity, recorded their transcendental experiences within their sacred books. Another meaning of Mahasaya is a be like relisher of devotional flavors. Anyone who becomes obsessed or enchanted to relish the conjugal devotional flavors, relisher of devotional flavors, is also Mahashaya. That's why it is very rare. How many out of so many sadhakas, how many really find their acute interest or acute attraction or absolute attraction to attain, go for Radha Dashyam. So anybody who finds that attraction also can be called Mahashaya, like a bee, a bumblebee, It's very, it just goes from flower to flower. And it just sticks, when it finds that mellow or the rasa or the flavor, it just becomes very absorbed in relishing that. In the same way, when we will find somehow or other this attraction to this devotional flavor of Radha Dashyam, then we will stick to it. Then we cannot waver or become distracted to go anywhere else. So one who sticks to the highest can also be called Mahashaya. Maha means great, highest. So that way, by their behavior and their work, they are glorified as Mahashaya by Narottam Das Thakur. They relished Bhakti Rasa. They themselves relished Bhakti Rasa by hearing, chanting, and recollecting in exactly the same manner as they relished. Not only they relished in their sadhana, but they also found great interest in writing. They relished also that bhakti rasa or devotional mellow, also in writing their sacred books. Those who are engaged in composing bhakti, and even in present time, those stalwart devotees who further elaborated in translating or further elaborating the literature of these Goswamis, they also can experience the same mellow or the delight in writing wonderful, because their writings are all revelation in their heart. And revelation is very sublime. Revelation is something which one experiences. And revelation has no doubt. When something is revealed in our heart, we don't think, oh, what is the evidence, whether it is right or wrong. Everybody can become blessed with that revelation by the divine mercy. Certain things. I just, when something is revealed in the heart, we don't doubt a bit even. It's just the feeling is so sublime that there's no question of doubting it. So those who are engaged in composing bhakti or rasa scriptures can also understand how much relish of wonderful bhakti or bhajan rasa is attained through their writing work. And here, Narottam Das Thakur, Mahashay, personally wants to reveal a very beautiful meaning of the word Mahashay. Radhika Charanashay. In Prema Bhakti Chandrika itself, you will come after several shlokas. Radhika Charanashraya Je Kore Se Mahashay. This is additional. For us, even for us, the title Mahashay is awaiting. If you take shelter of Radharani's lotus feet, whosoever takes shelter of Radharani's lotus feet is called a Mahashay. Sri Rup Sanatan are themselves exclusively surrendered to Sri Radharani's lotus feet. Since in reality they are Srimati Radharani's most loving, confidential maid servants who are non-different, from her. This is only how they were able to compose such sacred scriptures filled with so much devotional mellow. So all their words, in Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would relish the writing of Rupa Goswami and other stalwarts like Ramanand Rai and Sarup Damodar and Salom Bhattacharya. They would sing. The writing of Rupa Goswami is just like the pearls of nectar or drops of nectar, or something like they described. How such a amazing sweet description of the glories of the holy name and all the other siddhantas was described, like the nectar, stream of nectar oozing out, flowing in the wordings of Rupa Goswami. It's amazing. So Narottam Das Thakur describes how wonderful the books are that were composed by Sri Rupa Sanatana Goswami. Prema Bhakti Riti Jato Nije Granthe Subekato Likhiyache Dui Mahashaya. These two saints have revealed all the ways of loving devotion by writing them down in their books. Now this one line Riti, the depth of this expression is further elaborated, because one word has several meanings. Riti means the way, the simple meaning of, but also it has many other meanings. What is the meaning of Riti? Riti means some order. What Riti you are following? Which order you are following? What is the sequence? Sequence is also called Riti. What kind or what sort of activities? So what is the, like it's part of the process, different aspects. So Riti, in what way? Disposition, what rules, regulations, attributes, etc. So Riti has many connotations. And all these connotations, all these meanings, they find their fulfillment in the work of Sri Rupa Sanatana Goswami. All these meanings can apply. Narottam Das Thakur is so wonderfully eloquent in describing the glories of Rupa Sanatana Goswami. In these two words, Riti, he can make a wide-ranging implication of the subjects discussed in the huge pile of books that were composed by Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. So some examples are being used. We can find them very fascinating. So when the word Riti means the way, simple meaning is all the ways. These two saints have revealed all the ways. So all the ways is plural, correct? All the ways. So one way, another way. So one way is Riti means successive order. So in his two books, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Ujjwal Nilmani, Rupa Goswami has wonderfully outlined the successive stages of attaining love, loving devotion, correct? From Adav Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha, Atha Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti Shad, Tatha Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, and Prema. So, beginning from faith and associating Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, means associating with saints. Then Bhajana Kriya means to engagement in bhajana. Then the successive stages of more advanced loving devotion from Sneha. So this is leading up to the prema in the material world. But Ujjwal Dilmani he has described the successive progression or expansion of love. Love is at the bottom. Love, Sneha Mana Pranay. The love transforms or further evolves into sentiment. They are all love. In the material world, in sadhak stage, from faith, initial faith culminates into love of Godhead. And by that time, one has to leave this body because one cannot handle the force of loving sentiments in this body made of these five elements. But as one is transferred in one's transcendental spiritual body, there the loving sentiments further expands into sneha mana pranaya, rag anurag bhav mahabhav. So that successive stages of more advanced loving devotion from sneha and mana up to pranaya and mahabhav, and finally the emotional depth of the various manifestations of mahabhav. In mahabhav also, Rudha Mahabhav, Adhirudha Mahabhav, Modan, Mohan and Madan. Very wonderfully described in Ujjwal and Nirmani. As one will evolve and become more progressive in one's study, all these concepts will come. But basic, they are different. It's like a variegatedness of the highest stage of prem, that is Mahabhav. And in Mahabhav also, like Mahabhav, Rudh, Adhirudha, Modan, Mohan and Madan. So basically, Madanakya Mahabhav is during the Milan, during the union of Radha and Krishna. Then Mohan and Modan, they are doing the separation. Divyonvad is Madanakya Mahabhav is manifest during the Milan, meeting of Krishna together. And in separation of Krishna, Divyonvad, Modan and Mohan. Then Rudha, Adhirudha, there's technical description, but we can say that Rupa Goswami has so systematically described the even subtleties of the highest stage, Mahabhav. And Brihad Bhagavatam, which Sanatan Goswami compiled, he is also very gradational, gradational progression of devotional journey. He has given a wonderful description of the successive stages of devotion of the devotees who became the object of Krishna's grace, who received the highest, who is the one who is most endeared Krishna. So this question was raised, and then Narad Muni visits different places, beginning from Prahlad Maharaj, and the Prahlad, no, I'm not the recipient of the mercy of God. Hanuman is more fortunate. And every devotee who is approached, they say, no, we are not the recipient of the actual mercy of, they are just deflecting or just passing the, the Narad Muni goes to every place. And then it's progressively going all the way up to the gopis. And of course, amongst the gopis, Srimati Radharani's love. So they have described very wonderfully, both of them in their Brihad Bhagavatam is a wonderful one. It would be wonderful reading for any sadhaka because it gives a comparative understanding of through comparative understanding of the position of different pure devotees, we will gain eventually highest appreciation for the love of the gopis and among gopis and love of Radharani for her Priyatam, the sweetheart Krishna, and because Radharani loves Krishna the most. So rather than trying to get some portion of love from Krishna directly, we would rather become attached to the service in appreciation of Radharani's love for Krishna. Because we don't have the capacity to give uh, sufficient sufficient joy to Krishna. Radharani, her love is so superlatively exclusive that she herself, she alone can give fullest fulfillment to Krishna. Krishna, who causes the fulfillment of all the living entities. But when it comes to become fulfilled himself, only Radharani is capable to fulfill Krishna completely. And because she alone is able to fulfill Krishna completely, rather than me trying or us trying to please Krishna directly, we would be much, much better off if we develop service, a favorable attitude to assist Radharani in her desire, in her endeavor to serve Krishna or bring Krishna more joy. So that is the thing we are up to. We are up to Sri Radha Rashyam only, and which is also most pleasing to Krishna. So Krishna says, rather than trying to directly come and get involved with me directly, if you become subservient, if you become confidential of the one I am interested in, then naturally Krishna will also become interested in us, correct? So the secret of how to make Krishna become interested in us is revealed by Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu revealed that Krishna is most interested in Srimati Radharani. So if you become confidential of Srimati Radharani by aspiring to take shelter at his lotus feet, by becoming her maid servant, then naturally Krishna will become interested in us because Krishna will need our help. And Radharani creates that help by demonstrating the variegatedness of her disposition, her power. Sometimes she becomes unfavorable to Krishna. Not really, but externally. And this is how she is able to demonstrate the amazing, unlimited variegatedness of her sentiments. So in that condition, even Krishna himself finds incapable to approach Radharani or to accomplish the favorability of Radharani. Then who can help? Only those who are intimately confidential and Nitya Sakhis. Nitya Prana Sakhi are called Manjaris. Anybody who associates with Radharani other than Krishna, they are all Sakhis because Krishna is the only male, or you can say servant, who is allowed to associate with Srimati Radharani. Even so-called husband of Radharani is not allowed to associate with him. The Manjaris create such a wonderful atmosphere that only Krishna is able to, but even Krishna is not allowed all the times because of unfavorable mood of Srimati Radharani. So at that time, Krishna seeks the help of these Manjaris who somehow manage to break the impasse of Radharani's man. create some situation, something like it. So that is the poetry. So Sanatan Goswami, in a very successive way, describe the successive stages of devotion of the devotees who become the object of Krishna's grace. And in the second canto, there are two cantos of Brihad Bhagavatam, first and second canto. He has made a wonderful description of the succession of loving devotion in various transcendental abodes like Vaikuntha, according to their rasa. Gokumar is journeying all these different planets and he doesn't settle anywhere. Even Vaikuntha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna manifests his, Krishna form and creates some atmosphere like Braja, but even he cannot find settle. That was temporary, correct? If the Golok Vrindavan atmosphere is manifested even in Vaikuntha, realm of opulence, it won't be there for long. It's just like when the Festival of America comes in India. It lasts for a few days, a month or so. The purpose is that one develops the hankering to go to the actual America. In the same way, so demonstration of this Bhauma Leela, the earthly pastimes of Krishna, they are like the festival of a Golok Vrindavan, manifest in the form or Gokul, in the manifest pastimes of Krishna, so that we develop the hankering to attain the eternal abode. So in the same manner, the word riti may also mean kind or sword. The Goswamis have expertly divided the 5 Prema Bhakti rasas we discussed in the last one. Shanta, Dashya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, parental, and conjugal. Into Shanta, Dashya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhura, and have given nice examples of each of them. Similarly, when riti is taken to mean nature, as in disposition, their books also extensively describe how to become absorbed in Krishna consciousness after removing all other non-Krishna conscious absorptions. How to become absorbed in Krishna consciousness after removing all other anarthas, non-Krishna conscious absorptions. Riti can also mean paddhati. Paddhati means which means the rules and regulations of sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti, which have also been elaborately described in their books along with their wonderful qualities and virtues. Apart from this, Srimad Sanatana Goswami Pad has revealed different rules and regulations in devotional practice. Yes, he's written Hari Bhakti Vilas. Hari Bhakti Vilas is a compilation of instructions, different rules and regulations in devotional practice. Hari Bhakti Vilas, Leelasta or Dashama Charitra, and Brihat Vaishnava Toshani Tika, written by Sanatana Goswami. And Sri Rupa Goswami Pad has similarly described the secrets of loving devotion in books like Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Laghu Bhagavatamrita is the commentary on Brihat Bhagavata. Brihat means great, big. But Rupa Goswami thought, before he wrote this commentary on Brihat Bhagavatamrita, in the name Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Laghu means small. He thought that my Lord Master, he has elaborately described, all these comparative or successive stages of devotional service and the fortune available in different abodes, ultimately Golok Vrindavan, Prem Bhakti, all these things. But he thought that most people don't have time even to read this Brihat Bhagavad. Brihat means when you say, oh, it's a big book, the most people find, oh, a big book, who will read it? People are not inclined to read too much. So, very succinctly and very conclusively, Rupa Goswami has, the essence of Brihat Bhagavatamrita, he has condensed it down to Laghu Bhagavatamrita, filled with Siddhanta and wonderful descriptions of many things. Eventually, we should all read such books. Then he wrote Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava, the dramas, Stavamala in Dan Keli Kaumudini, in order to make those grave secrets or great secrets of Bhakti Rasa exactly understandable for the people of this world like us. Sri Rupa and Sanatan have revealed the ways of loving devotion in their books. In other words, they have revealed the deep secrets of loving devotion by elaborately describing them. Srimad Rupa Goswami Pad has written Srimad Prabhu Padam Bhojai Sarva Bhagavatam Mrite. So Rupa Goswami is calling his older brother, Sanatan Goswami, as Prabhupada. Vyakti Kutasti Gudhapi, Bhakti Siddhant Madhuri. My master, Rupa Goswami is writing in Bhakti Swami Sindhu that my master, Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad, has clearly described all the sweetnesses of the devotional theology in his own book named Brihad Bhagavatamrit, although they are so confidential. So this must also be understood of Sri Rupa Goswami Pad, his own books, For the benefit of the people of this world, they have clearly revealed these devotional theologies. The brightest example of this is the fact that Srimad Sanatan Goswami Pad wrote a commentary on his own book, Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. This means that although he had quoted examples from the Puranas in his Brihad Bhagavatamrita to elaborately describe the devotional theology, he still wrote a commentary on each of these verses to make this theology easily understandable for everyone. So this is the riti. Although they knew the nature of the people, both of them. People don't have that spiritual heritage, spiritual sanskara. They can directly find their attraction to the concentrated writing. That's why they themselves elaborated on their writing, so that purporting, directly reading a sloka, it we may not find it so attracted to it, because the subject matter is very deep, and how deep and how it can the message can be imbibed by us. So the great stalwart devotees like Prabhupada, they have given elaborate purport. Do you think without purports we would be so inclined to read just the concentrated nectar of we don't have the capacity to experience the concentrated nectar of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, etc. Through purport, through the elaboration, just as Rup Sanatana Goswami also elaborated upon their writings. So our acharyas, Prabhupada and others, they have also purported the concentrated writing of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam for our benefit. So they wrote the commentary on their own writing. Prema Bhakti Riti Jato Nije Granthe Subekata. The very so all the secrets they described, elaborated upon, revealed all the ways of loving devotion in their own books. So after that, the blessed author says, Nautam Ram says, Jahara Sravane Hoite Premanande Bhase Chitte Jugal Madhura Rasashraya. Hearing as well as broadcasting and recollecting the books of Sri Rupa Sanatan Goswamis inundates the heart and mind in a pool of ecstatic loving flavors. Wow. The purport of this is that in the words of the scriptures, in the Mahajanas, The greatest means to attain love for Sri Krishna or to relish mellows is to associate with saints who are like-minded, pleasant and more advanced than oneself. This is the paddha, this is the uh, direction or instruction given by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Sami Sindhu. Sajatiya Shayesh Nitya Sadhu Sangha Svato. This is the fifth out of the 64 limbs of pure devotional service described. The first four are the entrance, like Guru Padashtray and taking initiation, then getting instructions and doing bhajan like this. And then this Sajati Ashay, to associate with saintly persons who are Sajati, who carry the same sentiment or aspiration in the heart. Sajati Ashay, Snigdhe, those who are very lovingly disposed towards us, rather than chastising and fault finding and fallen or something chastising. When somebody is lovingly disposed towards us, then we won't commit any offenses towards them. We make comments if somebody is not, if somebody doesn't appear to be very favorable and loving towards us. What do you think you are? What do you think he is? Why is always after my case? He just. So that's why Goswami says, Sajatiya Shaye Snigdhe, one who is lovingly disposed towards us, appreciative and encouraging and seeing the potential and always encouraging. Sajatiya Shaye Snigdhe Sadhu Sangha. And if you consider him a pure devotee, sadhu means a pure devotee. Sadhu, and Shraddhavare, not only considering him pure devotee, but also seeing him as so much more advanced than myself. Sadhu is Shvato. Shvato means to oneself. Vare means very advanced. Much, much, much more advanced than oneself. So these four things are taken care of. So this is what the direction they have given. Jahara Shravane Hoite. Premanande Bhasi Chitte Jugala Madhura Rasa Shraya. The way they have given us the direction, how to cultivate, how to nurture this devotional fervor, that in order to accomplish that, in order to attain love for Krishna or to relish mellows, is to associate with saints who are first like-minded, second those who are pleasant, means lovingly disposed towards us, and is a sadhu, means a pure devotee, and very more advanced than oneself at least. So what happens when the Sajatiya, there are many stalwart, saintly people, but if they are in a different mellow, they are having the sentiments like Hanuman in Dasha to Ramchandra, or like those who are aspiring for Vaikuntha, the opulent planet of the Supreme, compared to those who are connected to Braja Bhava. Even in Braja Bhava, we must associate, we should insist to associate with those who are aspiring for Radha Darshan. So that is called Sajatiya. Snigdha. So when these four principles are met, then in Sajatiya Bhava Pushti, associating one devotee who carries the same aspiration in the heart as we want to carry in our heart, or we carry in our heart, then that association is like associating with 11 people. One and one becomes how much? Two. But that's ordinary calculation. Transcendental, how much powerful association can be? Association with one person who is Sajatiya, who carries the same aspiration as us in the heart. It appears like we got everything. So one and one becomes 11. That's why associating with a like-minded devotee the bhav pushti, our sentiment becomes nurtured. Sajatiya shay snigdhe. If he is lovingly disposed towards us, then we won't be able to commit offenses to him. Correct. And if we consider him pure devotee, we will always be able to honor him. And if we consider him as so much more advanced than myself, then whatever he says, we won't doubt and we won't wonder whether he's writing, is he concocting, or he's just saying the right thing or wrong thing. If we realize that he's much more advanced than me, then we can immediately imbibe the message which he's sharing with us. So, but such association is extremely rarely attained in this world. What to do? That doesn't mean that it is not available at all. Rarely means very difficult, but anyway, the best thing, the highest thing is always going to be rare. That doesn't mean that we will not search for it. Sri Rupa Sanatan have placed all their great and deep realizations about the treasure of their beloved devotional practice in their books. Secondly, each syllable of any of these books is filled with prema. Basically, so anybody who becomes connected to the literature of Rupa Sanatan Goswami and the lineage, they have got the rarest connectivity because they are exposing only the highest benediction, the possibility of attaining or possibly becoming blessed with the highest achievement, highest gift ever given to humankind, Sri Radha Dashyam. Each syllable of any of these books is filled with prema. Therefore, the best and most powerful means to attain prema and relish rasa is to hear and chant them, these books. These books are especially kantaharas, means kantaharas, to be put in the kantha, to be put in the throat. Kantha means throat, means to become memorized. They are the best things to be memorized. For the Gaudiya Vaishnava, for us, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who worship Radha Krishna, for they are the vessels filled with Radha Krishna's madhura rasa or conjugal mellow. All the books of Sri Rupa Sanatan are filled with the flavors of Sri Radha Krishna's, what are the? Nam, Rupa, Guna, Lila, Dhama, Parikar, Abharana. They are filled with the flavors of Sri Radha Krishna's, different names, different forms, attributes and pastimes, the expertise of worshipping them in order to attain prema, and theologies that are favorable to the same. Thus, the hearts of the worshippers of the divine couple are filled with the flavors of ecstatic love when they savor these sacred books. That's true. Sometimes we see the reading, in the Sloka comes this literal description. Premanande, instead of Premanande, Premanande Bhasya in some editions of this book, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, the word comes Paranande, but they have the same meaning. Anand, the common is Anand. Parananda hoy. But that can have the same meaning as the above. For Premananda is Parananda, the paramount bliss. Para means ultimate highest bliss. So, of course, Premananda, Prema, the bliss from the this loving service, For us, Premananda means we experience Ananda only by becoming engaged in the loving service of the divine couple. So in that context, Premananda, the Ananda of bliss experienced by performing or attaining or performing loving service of the divine couple. That gives us the highest, the paramount bliss, paramount bliss. So the Premananda and Parananda, they have the same connotation. So there is no greater bliss than this anywhere in the world. On the other hand, without relishing these books of the Rup Sanatana Goswamis, there is no way in which one can take shelter of the sweet flavors of Sri Radha Krishna or have any experience of them. That is indicated here. So basically, the message which was so wonderfully put down in the book form by Rup Sanatana Goswami, uh, the predecessors acharyas following in their footsteps, they have carried the same message intact. They further elaborated and so many commentaries and so many elaboration have come to us, and we are the recipient of the ready-made elixir. Those who have relished Rupa Sanatana Goswami's writing so much, and they have, after relishing, they have described, further elaborated the inner meanings, inner aspects through the revelation in their hearts. So what we are presently reading in this Prema Bhakti Chandrika is the lot of it's like enhancement of realized sentiments, realized revelations. So we are blessed by the whole generation or the lineage, the whole parampara, starting from Rupa Sanatana Goswami. So we should feel very, very fortunate that we are connected to the in disciplic succession to the same message which Mahaprabhu wants to give to all of us. And that way we can join in our glorification of Sri Rupa Sanatana Goswami. And we are called Rupanugas. And this is how we can feel very proud to be Rupanugas. By following in the footsteps those who have followed in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami ultimately. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. So I think we'll stop here and invite some participation. If anybody has any question, comment, or addition, please come forward. Yes. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Shri Guru. Dandavat Pranam, Shri Guru.
Swamini Mathur.
Fascinating, Shri Guru. We hear everything in Krishna consciousness is so rare, it's fascinating, it's the topmost philosophy, say. Then, Shri Guru, a question, why there is so much of like this gradation of why the highest, the topmost Shri Radha Rasyam is not distributed among sadhakas to begin with? Because I feel maybe it's very difficult for me to, or I get so deviated, then what should I aspire from straight away? If it is given straight away, maybe will this help?
Well, highest message remains always highest, correct? But when the great devotees, acharyas, they have to preach under different time and place and circumstances. And the audience is not ready to uh, relate with the highest thing in the very beginning. So they have to create the ways which is most appealing to the people under given time, place, and circumstances. And when the thing becomes institutionalized, then the same tendency, it's like how they received it, they want to insist to give only that way. So unless, and Acharya means always in the present time. We cannot follow much the previous Acharya unless we have the direction of the present Acharya. So who we accept in the present time determines our direction. It's very simple as that. And that's why, the so much apparent difference in following. And one can find one's emphasis on one particular aspect. One can find very focused on this sadhan vaidhi bhakti, and one can bring this concept. So what kind of narrative one is presented, and if it appeals to one, then one becomes follower at that level. They can discount, they can very easily undermine the highest message. So it is not even time. The time is not, it is not for them as yet. And this is how one remains deprived for a long time. Because we have been, it is not the first time we have been given this opportunity. Once we appreciate the foundation basic of Krishna consciousness, we should find our tremendous fascination to the highest gift of Mahaprabhu. What makes Mahaprabhu stand out? How can we not be interested in that? So anybody who has some evolved scruples in his mind, he will wonder, why not why not identify with the aspiration which Mahaprabhu has come to give? So it's a very and that's why Sangha matters. Who we associate with will make all the difference. And this is normal in this material world. That's why the rare things remains rare. You know. But one who understands that we are connected with the rare, and we must we must relate with it, deal with it, cherish it is the highest. So just by having that, we got the rare thing. Now we have also become rare, no? We got the rare thing, but if you remain ordinary in addressing it or in dealing with it, then again the rare thing is not registered properly. We also have to become not remain ordinary. That means if we understand, if we really appreciate something to be rare, then those who get it, how can they remain ordinary? They have to also become rare, no? The question, the onus is only on oneself. Have I, am I properly addressing or relating or getting the rare thing properly? So that way, one can challenge oneself, and one can, rather than thinking that we are connected to the rare thing and rare path and rare aspiration, rare destination, everything. But others are not interested, so they are ordinary. But that even in our position, we can become ordinary if we don't pay proper attention, or full attention rather. If we don't show sufficient surrender, sufficient what is the word I'm if you don't if our attitude, if our participation doesn't make us rare, if our participation remains on the ordinary platform, so in spite of becoming connected to the rare, we don't become rare, we become. So the appreciation of something being very rare, it should also reflect in our life. How can we afford to remain ordinary if we got something rare? We also have to become rare. In the estimation of others. Because now others should be talking about us rather than we trying to see others why they don't do this, why they don't do this. How much we do, is it enough, But we also have to go much, much more in our participation to receive the rare gift. How eagerly are we ready to receive the rare thing that will make us stand out. So you see the thing, correct? Those who may have some information about the rare thing, but they want to remain ordinary. We are connected to the rare thing if we appreciate. We are connected to the rare sangha, sajatiya shesh snigdhe sadhu sange. Still, our participation remains just in appreciation, but not in action. And still, we have a long way to go. No? Isn't so? So naturally, that the message or the promise or the desire of Mahaprabhu that Bharat Bhumite hoile manushya janma jar, those who are born, especially those who are born in the land of India. But my extension of this verdict is that anybody who is coming to the message of Mahaprabhu, whether now born in India or Germany or London or Scotland or New Zealand, we are all connected to the message of Godhead. Our obligation is to perfect our life by becoming situated in the aspiration of Sri Radha Dashyam, the highest gift of Mahaprabhu. Then involving others at that level. So we ourselves have to become the ideal for the benefit of others. Because people will watch, people will observe our actions, our dealing. If we are professing something so high, people want to see us transformed. Oh, you benefited from that sublime thing so much. Is it really that? So we become the representative of Rup Sanatan in Mahaprabhu in order to cause any benefit to others. Have we become benefited by it, this rare gift, enough so that we can we become eligible to distribute it? So we cannot afford to keep it to ourselves. Or in other words, we can say that if we have really imbibed this rare message to our heart, we cannot remain ordinary. We will be perceived as rare by others around us. But if we don't, if the needed transformation does not come in our life, then people won't be able to see it rare. In order to make the people see it rare, they want to see somebody who is really relishing that rare fortune and relishing that rare gift or developing or demonstrating the hankering and readiness to receive that rare gift of Mahaprabhu. What kind of transformation, what kind of change comes in our life, that matters. How much we become ready for it. Then we can give. If we get it, if we are devoted to it, become devoted to it, then that devotional mood will be contagious. Some souls will find it very fascinating, may find it fascinating to go for the real thing. So our first business, as Mahaprabhu says, we have to perfect our life. Janma sarthak kari means imbibing the message or the gift, and how we go about in our behavior, in our action, in our thought, how we address this Radha Dashyam in our individual life, collectively also, and then we can feel very proud. We can become very uh, passionate even to share that great fortune with others. People have to see our passion if something is so rare. Nah? If you got something rare, would you not be so passionate about it? So then we can benefit others also. So that potential is in all of us. We can perfect our lives, then also can help others to find their connectivity to that great fortune. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Because ultimately, how far one goes personally, that is the most important thing, correct? So one should become very committed by thinking, I myself have long way to go. And in the process, as one becomes more and more committed and focused and uh, released from other entanglements, and becomes more and more concentrated, become focused in one direction without much distractions. And that will that becomes very attractive for others. Everybody is in search of an ideal. Many are waiting for us. So that's why our role becomes very critical. We have found our connectivity to this rare fortune, rare gift. Now we have to act accordingly in order to not remain ordinary. Correct? Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.
Thank you, Shri Guru. Koti Koti Pranam, Shri Guru.
Anyone else has to say anything? Yes. Welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pranam.
Pranam, Shri Guru.
Swamini.
My heartfelt respects. My heartfelt respects and gratitude to you. Beautiful class as always. The point that you were just talking on is actually very closely related to what was rising for me to ask about. Part of my contemplation recently has been around this point of how I present myself, how I come across, because I've noticed that just on reflection in the past, when I feel something very strongly in my heart, I can get very enthusiastic. And sometimes I notice that perhaps it's too much for people, or people don't resonate. Maybe I don't discern well where how I need to be in different circumstances. I have in the past been chastised for being extremely keen to share Krishna with people, perhaps who weren't ready or wanting, or so I know that I have a lot of work to do in terms of my own discernment. But particularly the point that I was wondering about was this point. I mean, I perceive it as emotion. I don't know if this is the right word, but I find a lot of the time my enthusiasm comes out spontaneously. It's not something that, I mean, I can check it for sure. And so this is why I wanted to ask what's appropriate, because there's this enthusiasm that comes out, and I wonder, afterwards I often feel very foolish, and I feel so much shame and embarrassment. And over years in the past, this has been something that has led me to hide away, to shy away, because of feeling that perhaps it's inappropriate. But I just really was hoping for some guidance in terms of expression of emotion, because I know, well, I've heard that one of the qualities of Srimati Radharani is that she's always grave. So I just really was hoping for some clarity on this point. Thank you.
Yeah, the grace of Srimati Radharani, yeah, it has to be felt all the times. We are only instruments. We are not the doers. When this becomes very clear, then we don't become worried about the consequences. Only when I take upon myself, how I felt. For us, there is no failure. No? We are connected to the ultimate gift of Mahaprabhu. But our enthusiasm to share it with others, we should share with the enthusiasm that I feel enthused to become an instrument of Mahaprabhu, to bring this message to someone. So ultimate success and sanction is given by Mahaprabhu. We never take it, they say, it is I'm giving this. We are theirs, no? We are Radhanis, we are Mahaprabhus. Any enthusiasm comes also is given by them. So the credit should be also given to them. It's difficult, it's very easy said than done, but that will make us enlightened, because enlightenment is always connected to reality, and reality is that we are only an instrument. We are not the doer. So as an instrument, we can do without becoming disappointed, without becoming. So that is the only thing I want to say, that we can be proud. We can always remain proud, enthusiastic, that yes, person like me can also become an instrument. So Krishna, please use me as your instrument to expand your glory, to extend your glory. So our readiness, Krishna will use, Mahaprabhu will use. And we should not feel dejected or disappointed because thinking that I did this much, I did that much, and why people react this way or that way. Can you imagine if you have the conviction that you are sharing the highest thing with someone? The onus is not on you. The onus is on those who are not able to appreciate it. You make the best effort. Pray to Krishna. Krishna, as much as we got blessed, I want that same blessing transpired in the hearts of others. So we have to pray to Krishna, we have to pray to Mahaprabhu. Radhani, Radhani, I want to share this fortune with others. And so use me as you want. I'm only an instrument. Only you can do it. So great devotees in our line, they have prayed to Krishna only. Hey, Krishna, I'm doing only your work. And the success of it, apparent success, it gives us enthusiasm, correct? We did something on book distribution or dealing with others. But our endeavor counts. We should remain enthusiastic to remain an instrument for Krishna. And never become discouraged by the outcome. Just imagine, since eternity, how long it took us to listen to someone, to come this far. We can have, we should afford to have unlimited patience. Because what Krishna sees is our endeavor, sincere endeavor, not just casual endeavor that I put 2 hours doing this, just like it. No, it has to be filled with enthusiasm. People have to see the joy in you. People have to see the vigor, the passion in you. And let Krishna do either reward you or check you still further how much patience and you can contain. So sometimes Krishna is testing us. Oh, you are really enthusiastic, or you are a doer. We have to always remind ourselves that we are only the instrument, never the doer. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Then you will never be disappointed, never be faced, or nobody will be able to put you down, because we can put us down only ourselves. Nobody has the capacity to put us down. All right? Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Pranam Shri Guru.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All right then.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru.
Oh, welcome. Hare Krishna. Yes.
I'm facing you after so long in satsang. Heart
Yes.
is shivering like anything with multiple emotions. That's my misfortune that I'm not able to attend satsang these days, and I don't know what to say. I want to ask one question. Can I?
Yes.
Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for purification of our consciousness. As you say, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Shri Guru, we try to chant and we notice that when engaged in worldly duties, we find that the heart is effortlessly reciting shlokas given by you, reciting bhajans given by you. And Smaran is also there, kisi ka hi, effortlessly, by your causeless mercy. But when I see why Hare Krishna Mahamantra is less effortlessly, so I feel how so impure I am. And most of the time of day goes in reciting and singing and smaran. My question is, the main purification factor is Harinam only, or others can also be considered as one, or maybe less than Harinam. Kindly enlighten us, Shri Guru.
Yes, sir. Very nice question, very practical. But actually, anything which causes our absorption or effortless remembrance of the divine principle. So, just as the Sloka Kirtaniya Sadahari. Hari means Krishna. Krishna is so glorious, so unlimitedly glorious, then that he is worthy of becoming glorified by us all the times. Kirtani Sadahari. And that glorification is also variegated. Just as Krishna is non-different from Hari, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, Dham, Parikar. Krishna's name is also Hari. Krishna's Rupa is also Hari. Krishna's qualities are also Hari. Krishna's pastimes are also Hari. Krishna's abode is also Hari. Krishna's associates are also Hari. The paraphernalia of Krishna's worship and anything which gives him joy, they are non-different from Hari. So through whichever avenue, whichever aspect causes our remembering Sri Hari or Krishna or anything in relation with him is non-different. Chanting, of course, is very easy process. Under all circumstances, even if under the circumstances where one cannot speak out, or cannot have access to other engagements, but basically the purpose is to be able to remember. Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavyo na jatuchit. That is the main. What is the goal of Kirtani Sari? By being able, somehow or other, we have to be able to remember Krishna all the times. So if you remember Krishna, you are doing Harinam, Kirtaniya. Is remembering Krishna not Krishna's Kirtan? Because remembering the absolute, when we remember something so sublime, then our mind, our intelligence, our ego, everything becomes touched, becomes united in finding our focus of Krishna. So is remembering not Sankirtan or Kirtan? So anything which unites the bodily senses, mind, intelligence, a lot of things. Our existence comprises this body with its senses, subtle body, mind, etc., and also the soul. So that's why Kirtan means glorifying. In glorification of Krishna, in glorification of Hari, our whole system, everything becomes united. That is called focus, na? That is kind absorption, no distraction, and that is what becomes effortless. If the mind and the body and they are going in different directions, intelligence and ego, they are having conflicting interest, then they cannot find unison or focus. And so that's why we lose the interest, because it's difficult to, how long one wants to struggle. Nobody wants to struggle for very long. Of course, in sadhana bhakti, we take a vow to do certain number of chanting and different things. But anything which effortlessly makes you remember Krishna, or anything in relation with Krishna, that is also Kirtan. So that is part of Kirtaniya Sada. All right?
Yes, Shri Guru. Thank you so much and miss you so much. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Sri Swamini Matirastu. Welcome.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The
Yes.
so by chanting Hare Krishna, are we favoring our Swamini also? Are we doing services to her also?
Why not? Swamini loves to hear Krishna. Hey, when Swamini hears Hare Krishna, you know, she's hearing, Hey Krishna.
Very good.
Does Radhani also chant Mahamantra? When Radhani chants Mahamantra, she's addressing Hey Krishna, Hey Rama. You know. So, as a maid servant of Srimati Radharani, while chanting the Mahamantra, we can be conscious of our Swamini, that as she listens, you know, how much conscious are we of her? Correct? If we become conscious, what Radharani is conscious of when we chant Mahamantra, then we immediately become tuned with the consciousness of Srimati Radharani. You know. But otherwise, if we are addressing in Mahamantra also Radharani, Hey Radharani, Hare means Hey Radharani, Hey Krishna, like that. So Yugal Upasana, that is a target given by Mahaprabhu, you know. And in Radha Dashyam, definitely we end up serving both, correct? We don't want to see Radharani just alone. We know that Radharani is always hankering the association of Krishna. So we want to serve them together.
Yes.
Correct? But sometimes if the meditation in Spurti, that Radharani is by herself and hankering for Krishna, then in Mahamantra, Radharani is there chanting. So if somebody meditates, if somebody gets this sentiment that Radharani is also chanting Mahamantra, so what is her mood? Is she addressing herself? No, she's addressing only Krishna. Hey Krishna, where are you? Hey Krishna, where are you? Hey Rama, hey Ramana, one who gives so much fulfillment, you know. So she's hankering to be able to give more joy to Krishna. So that's the idea. So in our chanting Mahamantra, of course, chanting itself is very beneficial because when we address the word Hare Krishna Rama, then naturally they listen and they reward us according to our focus. So while chanting, if we focus what Radhani must be thinking, what Radhani is doing, you know, then accordingly we benefit. All right?
Thank you so much.
Nitai
Dandot Pranam, Gurudev. Dandot Pranam.
Is Kirtaniya Sadahari here or who is there? Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Bol. So we will.
कनक मंजरी आप कुछ कह रहे थे?
Everybody satisfied? Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Bol. Someone says never. Is that the gift? Never satisfied. Well, continue. Eventually we'll all become satisfied. Correct? Unsatisfied, not satisfied, should only increase our hankering. You know, it should not take us backward. should only cause increase in our hankering. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Gaur Akhil Rasamrita Murti Prasimal Ruchirutatar Kapali Kalita Shyamalaitu Radha Priyam Vidhu Jaiti. So, we can wind up. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Gaur.
We will all lovingly chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra at least 3 times for the pleasure of our dear Shri Guru. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
From our hearts we'll call out Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Astottara Sat Srimad His Divine Grace Shila Sri Swamini Kripa Murti Shila Bhakti Swarup Govind Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai Jai Gurudev, Jai Jai Gurudev.
Premanande Hari 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 Gaur. तो पार्टिसिपेंट्स उसके हिसाब से तो बहुत रेयर हो जाता है.
Hare Krishna, Dandvat Pranam Gurudev.
Swamini Matiyastu will join you all in less than 1.5 hours in Kirtan. All right? Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Gaur. ले लेते हैं
Hare
जो.
Krishna, Shri Guru Dandavat Pranam.
Welcome.
Pranam Shri Guru.
This Swamini Matiyastu. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Gaur. Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Gaur. Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Gaur. Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Gaur.